What's up, people, and welcome to a short form video here. I promise, actually, I was a little bit under the weather yesterday after that stream, and I kind of had to power through it after 3.5 hours, but I'm better now, kind of. But I actually have a topic for this video, and it's probably going to piss a lot of people off, but I don't care, because I usually say whatever the hell is on my mind anyway. But yeah. So the subject of this video is why the Warhammer is for everyone statement that the Warhammer community put out is probably one of Games Workshop's biggest mistakes. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm not just going to sit here and spout a whole bunch of nonsense and just be like, it's very bad. No, I have my reasons. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and look at this. And I am going to try and make this a little bit more friendly. Here we go. So the original, because they put it out and then they never said a goddamn thing about it ever again after the fact, reads, Warhammer is for everyone. One of the greatest powers of our hobby is its ability to bring people together in common cause, to build bonds and friendships that cross divides. We believe in and support a community united by shared values of mutual kindness and respect. Our fantasy settings are grim and dark, but that is not a reflection of who we are or how we feel the real world should be. We will never accept nor condone any form of prejudice, hatred, or abuse in our company or in the Warhammer hobby. We will continue to diversify the cast of characters we portray through miniatures, art, and storytelling so everyone can find representation in heroes they can relate to. And if you feel the same way, wherever and whoever you are, we're glad you're part of the Warhammer community. If not, you will not be missed. It's a lot of words. And the overall sentiment of that statement isn't a bad thing. What is a bad thing is that this statement has been weaponized and is used as a fucking cudgel by, well, let's just cut to the chase here, people on the left, progressives, activists, anybody in the hobby that has a chip on their shoulder with anybody that isn't on their side. And they do it all the time, especially that if not, you will not be missed part, which that shouldn't have been in there. But whoever wrote this obviously had some feelings on the matter. The part where it says, we will never accept nor condone any form of prejudice, hatred, or abuse in our company or in the Warhammer hobby. That part, yeah, I agree with that. I think you should be able to walk into a Games Workshop store and not have people look at you like you're cancer and like you don't belong there. I don't care who you are. Black, white, brown, yellow, green, blue, purple, male, female, trans, non-binary, whatever. Without new people, a hobby doesn't grow. And I don't think a hobby should exclude people just because of how they look or how they identify as or whatever. But when you use this to say, all right, now they're catering to us. Now we're important. We're the ones that Games Workshop wants to cater to. And people have said that many, many times. In fact, like I said, they use it as a weapon to say, see, look, they're progressive. They align with my values. So obviously, you're the outsider. You're the bad guy. See, read this thing. It says it. Games Workshop should have never laid this out. Whoever wrote this, they always call it the rogue intern. Whoever wrote this should have never written it this way. Because all it's done is cause problems. Plain and simple. That one part of we will never accept nor condone any form of prejudice, hatred, or abuse in our company or in the Warhammer hobby. That's all they had to say. That's it. By including that you will not be missed part, you're giving ammo to people to say, you see, you don't like the way I do things, or you don't like what I like. So read the last line, chud. It doesn't work that way. Because that applies to them too. It doesn't just come from one side. There's a whole bunch of fucking people on the left that are complete and total asshats that I would say don't belong in the hobby. Just like there are people on the opposite side that go way too fucking hard about trans issues and everything else that border on like outright neo-Nazi rhetoric shit. That's a problem. But people should be able to speak their mind. I absolutely believe in free speech. If somebody doesn't agree with trans ideology or LGBTQ issues or whatever, they have every right to say that. Just like the people on the opposite side have every right to say, well, I don't like you. Yeah, nobody is going to like everybody. Which is why you hear people say, oh, well, we should have changed Warhammer is for everyone to Warhammer is for anyone, it's not for everyone. Which would be a more accurate statement. Because if you go into a hobby and the first thing you're going to do is try to nitpick details and try to make it, mold it into this thing to the point where it's unrecognizable, that's a problem. That's when you start losing people. And honestly, there are plenty of people that have admitted that that's what they want. They don't want anybody in the hobby that doesn't fit into their mold of, you have to accept everything that I do or say. That's a problem. Just like I would say it's a problem if it was ran by a bunch of fucking racists, prejudiced people that were saying, no, we don't want minorities or anybody in the hobby. It goes both ways. It's just that one side is more prone to using this statement as a hammer instead of pointing at and being like, hey, look, this thing kind of applies to you too. And I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, it'll come back. This statement comes across as somebody trying to go, whoa. We hear you. We know that there's a little section of y'all that are more prone to canceling folks and boycotting and everything else. So here's a press release so that y'all don't get mad at us. Here you go. We're going to hit every little key point that y'all like. And now, go ahead. Feel free to use that as a weapon against anybody that you don't like, which is exactly what happened. But you've never heard a single word from GW after this. Which makes me wonder if the person that put this out got fired or whatever the fuck. I would have fired them. Because all this thing did was cause problems. You can easily get your point across without all this extra shit in there that doesn't really, I don't know, it just adds too much. It's too much extra shit for people to point at and go, look. And, that even that first part, I would even say the first part is accurate about the ability to bring people together in common cause, build bonds, friendships, blah, blah, blah. I mean, most of y'all saw that from the live stream yesterday, is that people should be able to have a conversation, talk about the hobby and what we like and don't like, in a productive manner. Not in a, Games Workshop doesn't even like you people, so you need to get the fuck out type of way. You know what I mean? That does nothing. It all it does is hurt Games Workshop in the long run. And I say that because I know some people have looked behind me. If you look, there you go. I mean, that's just part of the wall. I have spent a ridiculous amount of money on this hobby. And if Games Workshop all of a sudden decides to cater to these people that I'm referencing that use this shit as a hammer, I will absolutely sell it to all those people at a premium. I don't give a shit if it's scalper prices. If they decide to alienate their core audience for a bunch of terminally online morons, I'm out. But, as I said yesterday, I consider Games Workshop to be an extremely greedy company. And they are very, very, very rabid about their IP. So, I hope that this is the first and only time that they put out a statement like this where it even causes the slightest amount of friction, which it did. And all they do is just worry about their IP. Don't worry about real life politics. Don't worry about bringing shit from the internet into this when you already have a good product. You already have a highly dedicated core fan base that are going to keep throwing money at you left and right. Whereas, I mean, hell, half the people that say, you know, that this whole Warhammer is for everyone thing means that it's an exclusionary letter. I would love to know how much some of those people have spent on the hobby. Just give me a number. I'll give you all a number. That's probably $50,000 worth of stuff sitting behind me. Plus among other places. But I'm not ideologically and politically brain rotted to the point where I feel like it needs to be involved in everything. Because it doesn't. The hobby is for escapism. The hobby is for you to have fun. You know, to read about different places and people, and that's where diversity isn't a bad thing. It really isn't. You gotta change things up a little bit sometimes. But you have to do it in a way that goes along with everything that you've already established, which, you know, you hear the people say, oh, lore doesn't matter. Lore absolutely matters. You have to have a foundation. You have to have a basis. You have to have something to go off of. And I'm not getting into the female Space Marine argument. There's other videos about that. I'm not doing it here. You have to build off of the existing world. When you go so far left field with, you know, headcanon type shit, people that are invested are going to be like, wait a minute. Didn't you already say that this isn't a thing and you can't do that? Why are we doing it now? It doesn't make sense. And I've already said, if GW decides to go that route, then it is what it is. You know, who am I? I'm not a CEO over there telling them what to do. I just have my feelings on the subject, just like I have my feelings on that statement that they put out. At the end of the day, I wish they had never done it, and it was a mistake. The core message of not accepting prejudice, hatred, and abuse in the hobby, that's all you have to say. That's it. But people are going to argue on the internet regardless of what you fucking say. Doesn't matter. They're going to be at each other's throats every single day until they die. Especially the ones where that's all they do is sit on the internet and talk shit to people. On both sides. That's what they do. Can't change it. You don't know these people. I don't know these people. I could give a fuck less what somebody on the internet has to say about me. So, you know, them dipping their toes into this PR press release, damage control press release, was not a good idea. And as I mentioned, all it's done has caused problems, and it's been used as a cudgel to beat people over the head, to force people to go along with whatever a certain faction deems acceptable, you could say. And, you know, a lot of the, somebody mentioned, I'm not going to call them woke hammer anymore. I'm going to call them hate hammer. Because some of the most vile shit that I would expect from like a hardcore right-winger, I've seen come out of them. And it's like, you people are fucking hypocrites. You use this thing as a weapon, but you don't follow it yourselves. And that's just how it is. It shouldn't be that way. Again, people should be able to have a conversation, but not beat people over the heads with some press release saying, you need to be accepting and tolerant and otherwise get out. And that's what they do. They exclude people. They tell people to get out. They say, we don't want you here. In fact, they say that they're actively trying to get rid of people. Why would you go along with that? Who in their right mind is going to see that and go, you know what? Those are the good guys. I want to be on that side. Not me. I see a lot of shit from people that I have no problems with, and I'm just like, that's a little much. Just like, but typically it's because they have a personal problem with whoever they're directing the vitriol at. In which case, by all means, go for it. If that person's a fucking scumbag, you can tell them whatever the hell you want. But no blanket statements. It's always single. It's always targeted, you could say. And targeted, I mean, it sounds like a bad word, but when it's an individual, because this person is constantly fucking up, by all means. But you don't use that as a catch-all for an entire group of fans so that you can, cow them. Force them to bend the knee. Whatever it is that you want them to do. And now you got what we've got now. I've seen so many instances of people using this thing like a hammer. And honestly, it's a bad look. And it was a really bad idea from Games Workshop. I hope they know that. Like I said, I hope they fired whoever the fuck put this thing out in the first place. I would have been like, you could have left it at this, and instead, you added a whole bunch of extra shit to cover our asses that you didn't need to add. So, there you have it. That's enough. I'm going to step off my soapbox on this multi-million-dollar company putting out bad press releases. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, just do you.